All right, friends. Before we head on, we're gonna be transitioning this afternoon even deeper and deeper into some more kind of actionable, oriented, how kinds of ideas, and we're gonna begin by telling some stories of emerging tools and platforms that are already upon us, or are very close to being upon us. So, come on in, have a seat. As you're sitting down, I wanted to tell you that how many of y'all are on Twitter? Raise your hand. Not too bad. How about Facebook? How about Snapchat? Yeah, I don't know how that works. But yeah, Instagram. So whatever social media you're using, you can use the hashtag localize for our conversations. So as you capture great quotes, if you want to be in connection with other people, use the hashtag localize. You can then search it and find each other more easily. Okay, y'all ready to begin? I'm gonna need more than that. Okay. So first up for the first story of the afternoon is Pitichok Chulampamornsi from Neighborly. That's right, he's going to talk about this incredible new platform called Neighborly. Give him a warm round of applause.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Pitichok, and I'm from Neighborly. I grew up in Thailand, and growing up, I'm very close to my grandmother. I like to spend the weekend with her. And one of the favorite activities with my grandmother is going to the market. I love the smell of the fresh, spicy curry. I love to see the vibrant colors of the fruit and vegetables. And at the end, my grandmother always treat me with an ice-cold popsicle. But there's one thing that I hated about going to the market. It's the bargaining. The fruit lady doesn't really like my grandmother. She have no problem with the veggie ladies. She always get good price. But the fruit lady always quote her on a higher price, and she would need to bargain it down. And moreover, when there's special seasonal fruit, like the dragon fruit, I love the dragon fruit, my grandma wouldn't get it because she's not one of the high-paying customer for the fruit lady, so I would never have the opportunity to eat the dragon fruit. So I would be very, very, very sad. This kind of unfair treatment and discrimination in the market back in Thailand is very present in the municipal bonds market in the United States. Municipal bonds market, the municipal bond is a finance instrument that helps fund public projects like the Golden Gate Bridge. And these are tax-free instruments. But in recent years, the access to municipal bonds has been very low, especially for individual investors. 30 years ago, 3.5% of Americans own municipal bonds. That is low. But today, 0.9. Why I cannot invest in my own community? Why can I not buy this tax-free municipal bonds? Two main reasons. First, municipal bonds are denominated in $5,000, making it inaccessible to a lot of people. In a country where the median household income is $50,000, to invest 10% of your pre-tax income in one financial instrument, unsuitable. Secondly, you need to have a brokerage account that have access to that particular municipal bonds. And if you just want to buy one municipal bonds, good luck. If you can, let me know. I want to try that too. Neighborly mission is to increase accessibility of the municipal bonds. We believe that people should be able to invest in their own community, and they don't need $5,000 to do it. And here's how we can do that. We are reducing that denomination to $100, so cities can start raising bonds in increments of $100. This way, people can invest, and we can do this through technology. With the Neighborly technology and the Neighborly platform, investors will be able to view and browse through the projects that are upcoming that the city needs to borrow. Once they decide to invest in one project, they will be able to read about that project, look at what type of spending that the city will be spending it on, and looking at the risk factors and the return schedule, because this is an investment, it's not a donation. And this is a tax-free instrument. And once the investor is ready to invest, the investor can just go through the checkout process, link your bank account, and bravo, you own a municipal bond, you invest in your community. Back to my grandmother's story. Like the dragon fruit, municipal bonds should be accessible to people who want to own them. With that, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Patricio. It's fantastic. Seriously. Okay, next up, we're just going to keep rolling. You all ready? We're going to keep rolling. Annie McShiris is from selfhelp.org. She is from not too far away and is pretty excited to be sharing some new stuff. Come on up. Warm welcome for Annie.
Sorry, I just going to the beginning. Okay, thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Annie McShiris. I'm with Self-Help Federal Credit Union, and I'm so excited to be here with you today. You've heard little inklings of a new CD product that we're going to pilot in Oakland to fill the friends and family gap for African American entrepreneurs from Jessica and Conda, and I'm actually here today to tell you about that and to formally announce it. So I'm so excited to be here with you today and just really thank our partners for coming along with us and getting this thing off the ground. So, great. But first, I wanted to tell you a little bit more about Self-Help Federal Credit Union. So Self-Help, you may have all heard of us as a community development financial institution, a community development credit union. We were founded in North Carolina in 1980, basically to service needs for underbanked populations and those without access to resources who were redlined or specifically discriminated out of those markets. So our mission is to create and protect ownership and economic opportunity for all, especially people of color, women, rural residents, and low-wealth families and communities. So specifically, I think everyone here might know what a credit union is, but it's very different than a bank. A credit union is a financial cooperative that is owned and run by its members and to serve the needs of the members themselves. The deposits that we raise from the members go directly back into communities for impact in those communities. So our overall impact, you can see we've got 81% to low-income borrowers, 70% to people of color, and that has continued to be our mission since 1980. Specific to California, we actually came to California in 2010 as a result of the financial crisis, and a lot of the credit unions that are across the state, especially in the Central Valley in California, were struggling as a result of the financial crash. And a lot of the big banks got bailed out, but the credit unions didn't. So a lot of our mission here in California is to preserve those credit unions and to allow for those members to continue to get the needs that they have. This is Daryl, one of our members based out of Oakland, and he actually came to California after being displaced from Hurricane Katrina. And he came with pretty poor credit, and he's been able to rebuild his credit. Now he owns his own business and is getting a degree in cinematography. But this is just one of many stories of our membership. And really, again, our mission is to serve the needs of our members. So why Oakland? I'm going to tell you more about this pilot project, but specifically to Oakland. This was actually our first branch. We merged with People's Federal Credit Union, which has been serving the community of West Oakland since 1996. Sherry Alexander there is our branch manager. She's been there since the very beginning. And it was really formed out of community need and to service those people in West Oakland that didn't have access to the kinds of banking services that others offered and were actually victims of payday lending and predatory lending, which is part of our mission to fight against that industry, to fight against those payday lenders that are charging 450% interest rate to ordinary consumers. So I'm going to tell you about this depository product, but first, just to give you a little sense, we've got a number of specialty CDs in North Carolina, and we're actually piloting our first one here in Oakland. We've got a local CD supporting local initiatives in North Carolina. $3 million raised in deposits to go right back into those local businesses. Also a green CD that's all over the East Coast and also here in the West Coast to support environmental lending, to support commercial retrofits and energy retrofits, as well as a women and children CD to support affordable child care centers and women-owned businesses. So why am I here today? I'm here today because of the amazing work of these visionaries, and I would just like to take a moment to give a round of applause for Napoleon Wallace, Conda Mason, Jessica Norwood, and Kevin Jones, who are all here today who made this possible. So what we're envisioning and what the vision of Jessica and Conda was really to how do we actually fill this gap, this runway gap, where entrepreneurs of color are not able to access the kind of resources that the more privileged in society are able to. We know about this racial wealth divide. We know there's a divide in wealth and access to wealth based on race. And so we're actually launching the CD product, and I've got to finish soon, so just to let you know, we're going to be raising capital for our CD product, 1.8% for 5 years, as well as raising philanthropic capital to support a loan loss reserve for these entrepreneurs. And the CD deposit money goes right back into supporting loans to these entrepreneurs who need that runway capital, who need pre-seed money to be able to start their businesses. How can you support this project? You can invest in our CD. You can also contribute to the loan loss reserve. And you can support our efforts for sourcing and pipeline development to find the right businesses that really need the support, specifically African American businesses in the West Oakland community. And here's our contact information. Thanks so much. I'm right out of time. Thank you.
Thank you, Annie. Thanks so much. Really quick, I wonder, Ronnie and Conda, could you stand up really briefly? Because if you want to hear more about this, these are the two women to talk to you. Thanks so much. Okay. Okay, right up next, Arno Hess, also from not too far away. Come on up. We're rocking and rolling. Let's go. There you go. Round of applause.
Wonderful to be with you guys. So let's talk about Credibles. Credibles is a very simple way to do funding within neighborhoods. It's a simple tool. It's people pay for products and services in advance, and then they have a local tab of store credits that they can use over time. So it's really, really simple. That's all you needed to know. If you turn off now because of my Euro-trash accent, this is all that you needed to know. If you're still with me, so I'm Arno Hess. I've co-founded Credibles, coming out of the slow money world, and we wanted to make investments more accessible, not just for the people who can write big checks, but also the community members who can write small checks. So we're particularly geared at food and agriculture businesses. So the starting point is usually need for funding, so they need dough, and we know it's easier to fund for community members to fund Monsanto than your bakery down the street because of all the hurdles that we have in between. So that's where Credibles comes in. I do want to put a special plug in if you're looking for the dough and putting the dough connection. One domain you should take down is investibule@localvesting.com. That's where a lot of the underground local investment opportunities are now starting to aggregate. Amy Cortez and I have been creating this project. And you find projects like Red Bay Coffee, which is in Oakland. And you'll see they have actually two campaigns running. One is an equity campaign, and they're also raising funds with something called Credibles that we're here to talk about. So, and the funding and the starting connection is $25. So if you find them on Credibles, you'll see it looks a little bit like a crowdfunding site that you know of, Kickstarter. So you put your money in, except it's not money for a donation. It's not money for a T-shirt as a reward or so. You actually get fair value in this case in products and services, which is caffeinated. And why do people do this? So some businesses have raised $50,000, even $300,000 with this simple tool. And so lots of businesses throw in extra incentives like an extra smoothie if you prepay, or take you on a fishing trip or party, or you can also use them as gift cards. So it's been actively used. So let's say you did this. Let's say you prepaid your favorite food business in advance, like $500 or something like that. Now you actually have a local tab. You have a store credits. We call it local tab of edible credits. So now you go into the store, Now you're ready to get your coffee or your bread or whatever you do. So the store owner, the cashier, actually sees you on an app because, no surprise, it's a website and an app. They have your name, you have your balance. It's keeping track. You don't need a card, you don't need a chip. Your face, this is about deep connection. You're regular, they know you. So your face is actually the identification tool. And then it's super simple. This is probably the most boring part, though. The cashier just puts in your amount. It doesn't take longer than a credit card transaction. The amount of the bread or coffee purchase gets deducted from your balance of edible credits, and you kind of just ate your credits. That's why we call it edible credits. And we think it's a superb tool to be used within neighborhoods because it strengthens neighborhoods from within without having to use outside sources. It's just you put your capital down in advance. So edible credits, credibles.co, that's where you find it, and it's also an app on the iStore. So who is an investor in the room then from that perspective? Any investors in the room? Well, actually, this is our tagline. It's if you eat, you're an investor, and we consider this like the money on the investment tool that's the closest to the belly. And since I think a lot of us tend to be eating, so it should be a tool that is accessible to everyone in the communities and neighborhoods. Thank you.
Thank you, Arno. Craig, come on up. Next up, final today, is Craig Carton from the great city of Fresno, California. Brand new, really fantastic new platform happening with Fulton Street investors. Come on up, Craig. Give him a warm welcome. That's right.
Good afternoon. We're not brand new. We're 13 days old. It's the 13th, right? Is that it? Fulton Street Investors, LLC, is a direct public offering that was started to buy, restore, and lease property in downtown Fresno. So it has an investment side where if you think that buying real estate in a pre-revitalized downtown and riding the values up as downtown revitalizes, then that should be interesting to you. The other thing I want you to think about is if you know of another city, unlike things like Market Creek Plaza that we were all excited about 10 years ago in San Diego, that we all found there was a $100 million foundation behind and we couldn't replicate it in our own community. I built this so it could be replicable. So think about this. So this is downtown Fresno, 1964 area pedestrian mall that didn't work here. It didn't work in 175 other cities in California. So we're replacing it with a complete street, which we know out of 175 cities that have done this before, that downtown will revitalize in 4 years or less. So if you think that, if you wish you'd invested in downtown San Diego or Pasadena or Oakland or Visalia or a million other cases before they revitalize, this is your opportunity to do that in Fresno now. And again, $22 million worth of investment in infrastructure change happening right now. You'll see a picture of it next. We have redone all of our land use plans so that we have a form-based code, a new downtown-specific plan. We're going to have the first high-speed rail station in the United States in downtown Fresno, and we have dozens of businesses opening every quarter in anticipation of this. So do you think now is the time to revitalize and to invest, right? So there's our main street, been a dead pedestrian mall. I had the only business open after 5 o'clock on a 6-block long mall in the core of our downtown. That's crazy, right? That's dead. So now we're getting people to invest. We have a direct public offering that we created with our partners at Cutting Edge Capital and Cutting Edge Counsel. John, thank you very much. He saw value in investing in us so that we could get it this far. So that means that regular people can invest alongside accredited investors. We have opened this up and put our lowest investment at $500 to make this as easy as possible. So we're going to purchase 1 to 3 story buildings with strong retail presence in our downtown core. We're going to use local contractors paying a prevailing scale wage using apprentices from our local community. And we're going to buy buildings like this, that right now that second floor is completely unoccupied, horrible facades in all of these buildings We're going to fix this up with our fund, turn it into upstairs living space, upstairs creative office space, and retailers that will bring in that night and weekend foot traffic that will ultimately turn our downtown around. So these are the levels that the state of California has imposed on us for investment. So if you have $500,000 or more, you can invest 10%. If you have $250,000 or more in net worth, excluding your home, and $75,000 in income, you can invest up to 10% of your net worth. And then at the lower end, if you have $75,000 in net worth, or $30,000 in net worth and $30,000 in income, you can invest up to $500. The state of California will let you blow your entire life savings at the casino this weekend, but they've decided to highly regulate who can invest in their own downtown real estate. Thank you very much. So, I'm Craig Carton. I have 30 years of revitalization and locally focused economic development experience. I was the first president to California Main Street, elected unanimously by Main Street directors around the state. I love this, I'm passionate about it, and I'm very excited about our new fund. Thank you.
Great. That was wonderful. Okay, friends, so pretty quickly, we're now at the time where we're going to have workshops. So, without too much of a break, this is room 1 that we're in, and room 2 is the tent right behind us. So happening, I'll give you just a handful of moments to either run to the bathroom and come back or go over to the tent. In this room is the session Growing Access to Capital for Main Street, something we've been talking about all morning, with Connie Evans from AEO, Derek from Mortar, and Galen Gundolfi from Justin Peterson. And then in the tent, Marjorie Kelly is going to be facilitating a really necessary conversation around anchor institutions, hospitals, universities, churches, etc., that are saying we need to play in this local economy revolution, and we're figuring out how to do it. So crucial. Highly recommend also going over there. So we're just going to make a hard break right now. There's going to be a little break at 2:20, as you'll see, and then we'll have another session, one in here, one in there, and then we'll all come back here at 3:45 to wrap. Sound good? Okay, see you soon.